Hi everyone, so in this video I'm going to explain why I think it's a really bad idea if you learn to drive in a car that's got hill assist. Now hill assist, if you don't know, is a system that stops cars rolling back on hills automatically. Now normally this is great of course because you don't want to be rolling backwards on hills, but the problem is there's a growing number of people that are coming to me from schools that have cars that use this system, and they're in all kinds of trouble because they can't drive without it. So I'm going to turn the car on now and give you an example of what I'm talking about. So what hill assist does, like I said, is when you go up a hill like this, you can stop with the brake and the car will keep the brakes on for you for 1 or 2 seconds after you've come off the brake, so it gives you time to set the pedals and stop you rolling back. So for example, if I go forwards now, I can go forwards on this road, and if I pull up like this now I can brake and stop, and if I come off the brake pedal now, the car doesn't roll back. It gives me time to set my feet and then I go. Now my car doesn't have hill assist, so I can't actually show you the system itself working, but that is how it would work. You would move forwards like this, and if I come off the brake as I have done now, the car just won't roll back, and it gives you time to set your feet to allow you to move forwards again. Now like I say, it's a great idea, except if you learn this drive, because when you pass your driving test, it's very unlikely you're going to get a car that's got hill assist. Now I think, this might be wrong, but I think from 2013, about midway through 2013, I think all cars have it now, all new cars. I'm not sure if it's any new law that's come in, because for example years ago there was this law that came out that all new cars have to be fitted with ABS, so you can't now buy a car that doesn't have ABS, and I think hill assist is another one of those things. It's one of these European safety directives where they're trying to make the roads safer by putting this in cars. Yes, it's all very well and it's a great system, but the problem is if you learn to drive in a car with that, you should always turn it off. If you go into the options on the menu, you can turn it off. There are many instructors now that are using this system without even telling people about it, and I'm having problems with people coming to me that are doing this. They're moving off and they get to the top of a hill and they brake, they come off the brake, roll back, they say, what's happening, what's happening, what's happening? And they go and smash, nearly crashing into the car behind. The reason is they don't know about rolling back. They've never been taught how to drive in a car that doesn't automatically stop them rolling back. Now I had this the other week. I was at a test centre, and there was this instructor who was boasting about it. He said, oh, guess what I've got in my car now? And I said, what? He says, oh, I've got hill assist. And I said, oh, well, you do turn it off, don't you? He said, nah, saves you loads of trouble. Don't have to bother explaining about the clutch and the brake and all that. I thought, what is he talking about? You don't have to bother explaining about the clutch and the brake and all that. That's exactly what he said. What are your pupils going to do when they pass the driving test and they don't know that the car is not automatically going to stop itself? This is what's going to happen to his pupils. They're going to move off, they're going to stop on a hill, they're going to roll back and smash into someone behind. Let me demonstrate that again. I'm going to move off. Okay. I'm going to stop now. I'm in a car that doesn't have hill assist. I don't know what hill assist is. Roll back, smash. I could have just run a cyclist over there because the instructor's too lazy to bother telling me about hill assist. And that is exactly one of the things that made me have a crash after I passed my driving test, because my lazy instructor didn't bother telling me how to drive properly. So if you learn to drive with any driving school pretty much now that uses a new car, most cars have it now, but make sure that you know about hill assist, to make sure that you are learning to drive with hill assist turned off. If you learn with it on, great, and they will accept you on driving tests now, but you must be able to drive with hill assist turned off, because otherwise in a car that does have hill assist, you'll be pulling up and the car will just hold still like this. When you go to move off, you will move off. Yeah, it's a great system, but if you're not used to it, back, 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 smash. You just had a massive crash there. You could have killed someone, you could have run someone over. Do not learn to drive with hill assist turned on. Make sure you ask your instructor, is hill assist turned on? And whenever possible, turn it off. I know, for example, in the Ford Fiesta, I'm having a new car in about 4 months, because I have to. It's just the way it works. I won't go into this now, but you have to have a new car every year as an instructor. It's the way it works. I don't even want it and I've got to have it, and I'll tell you, the first thing I'm going to do when that new car arrives is I'm going to go straight to the menu system and I'm turning hill assist off, and no people that I have is ever going to use hill assist. And I know that there'll be people out there who say, oh, that's stupid, you should use it. But you need to understand how dangerous it is. I've had this loads of times. I'll get driving now. But I've had this loads of times over the last month or two now, where I've had pupils that have come to me from a certain school. And it's a massive school with cars all over the place. And I say to them, you know, let's go and see how you do on a hill. And I know what's going to happen. And I start rolling backwards. It's not good enough. You should not learn to drive in a car that has that turned on. If I pull up on the left now, for example, some cars, now not many do this, but there are some where if people are going down the hill, it's a similar kind of thing. They won't let you roll down the hill until you lift the clutch. Not a good system to have at all, I don't think. So I recommend you never learn to drive with a car with hill assist, or if you do, turn it off. Make sure, if it's on now, for example, some cars I've had now where you've had to press the brake down and they come off the brake and the car rolls forward. If you're not used to that, or if you are used to that and you get a car without that, you might stop now, come off the brake, and your car keeps rolling. If it was, you keep rolling, because you haven't got the thing that stops you rolling, that's why. So don't learn to drive using hill assist. If you do, well, that's up to you, but don't be surprised if you have big problems later on.